Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. Today I'm going to walk you through lesson 61, parts 6 to 8. So if we look at part 6, we have to complete each equation. Now there's two types of equations that we're solving, and I have them up here. So first one that we'll do together is A. So we have our whole number of 4, and we're looking for our top number over 3. So we're trying to find out what number over 3 will give us 4. And then our trick that we have to remember is whenever we're looking for our top number, we have to multiply our whole number by our bottom number. So we're going to multiply 4 times 3, which will give us 12. And there's our answer. 4 equals 12 over 3. Now another type of question that's in part 6 is when you're solving for our whole number. So this is example C that we'll do together. So we have 6 over 3. Now all you have to do here is divide 6 divided by 3, which will give us 2. You can also think how many times can 3 go into 6, which will also give you 2. Now you can complete the rest of the questions on your own and then come back when you're ready for part 7. All right, now part 7. We're multiplying, so I'll just set up our equation here. We'll do A together, and then you're either multiplying, subtracting, or adding double, or there's one triple digit that we'll work on together. So we have 327 times 52. Okay, so our first step is multiplying our first digit in the ones column. So now we have to do 2 times 7 times 2 and then times 3 to give us our first answer. So we'll do 7 times 2, which is 14. I'll drop the 4 and then carry the 1 here. And then we have 2 times 2, which is 4, plus the 1 on top, which is 5. Now, since we've already used the 1 on top, I'm going to cross it out so we don't get confused on our next step. And then our last one, we're doing 2 times 3, which is 6. And then we're finished multiplying our first digit. Now we're looking at our 5, but it's not a 5, it's our 50. So we're going to multiply that by 7, by 2, and by 3. Now again, we always have to remember that it's not a 5, it's a 50. So to recognize that it's in the tens place value, we need to drop and write our 0 right there. And then we can begin to solve. So our first is 5 times 7, which is 35. I'll drop the 5 and then we'll carry the 1 on top here. And next we have 2 times 5, which will give us 10, plus the 3 on top, which will give us 13. I'll drop the 3 and carry the 1. Oops. All right, and our last one we have 3 times 5, which will give us 15, plus the 1 on top is 16. And now we're on to our next step of adding up these answers. So we have 4 plus 0. We got 4. 5 plus 5 give us 10. Drop the 0, carry our 1. And then 6 plus 3 gives us 9. Plus the 1 we carried, which gives us 10 again. Carry the 1 here. We have 1 plus 6, which will give us 7. And then we have 1 that will drop down. Remember, you can also add your comma to show the thousands place. So we have our answer, 17,004. So now you can work on part 7 and complete the rest of the equations. Just make sure you're looking at whether it's subtraction, adding, or multiplication. Part 8, we're filling out a chart. I'm just going to quickly make it on my board, and then we can work on it together. So I'm going to do the example of Jimbo, and then you'll be working on Alex and Tina. So we're trying to solve how long, when they left, the time of their trip, and when they arrived. So remember, when we're doing our time equations, we can only make number families that go across. And I'll show that here. So we have Jimbo, when he left, the time of his trip, and when he arrived. Okay. All right, thank you for waiting. So we have Jimbo. Now on our chart, we see that he left home at 7:09. So that's already on your sheet. And then our time of the trip, we're not sure. And he arrived at 9:36. So remember, we can only draw our number family going across. So we can't use any of the information from Alex or Tina and try to solve down, because it won't give us the correct answer. So we have our first small number is 7:09. That's when Jimbo left. That's the start of his journey, so it's always at the beginning. And now we don't know how long his trip took, but since we'll have to add when he left and how long it took him to get to where he was going, the arrival time is our big number. And he arrived at 9:36, because we always have to look at when they left, how long did it take, and what time did they arrive. So that's the largest number, and that's our big number. So we're looking for our small number here. So since we're looking for our small number, we're going to have to subtract. So I'll do it over here. Just make sure we're lining up our numbers in the correct place values and lining up your colon as well. So we have 936 minus 709. So let's first do 6 minus 9. Now we know we can't do that. So let's borrow from our 3. This will become a 2. And then we have 16 minus 9. So 16 minus 9 equals 7. And then we'll look next, we have 2 minus 0, which will give us 2. I'm going to make sure I'm lining up the colon, so we'll drop that down. And then we have 9 minus 7, which will give us 2. So the time of Jimbo's trip was 2 hours and 27 minutes. So now we can fill that on our chart. And then you can continue to solve for Alex and Tina. And there's a couple questions based on the information you're solving that you'll have to answer after. So here we are. You can pause this and finish part 8, and that's our lesson for today. So you guys are doing an awesome job, and keep up the great work. Thanks.